This video breaks down step by step how to build your music career without guessing, confusion, or random advice. Specifically, what you should actually be focusing your time on. Because most artists I speak to aren't stuck because of a lack of talent, they're stuck because they're working on the wrong things in the wrong order. So if you've been working, releasing music, and investing in your career, but still haven't had a real breakthrough moment, it's usually because the different pieces of your career aren't actually reinforcing each other. But once you become the unifying force, when your perspective, your life, and your music start aligning, that's the pattern I've seen every single time an artist truly breaks through. Before we go any further, if you want to follow along to this properly, I've put the entire system into a document and you can download it for free using the link in the description. I'd recommend grabbing that now so you've got it for later. Now, before we jump into exactly how to use this system, there's something that you need to understand first. Because if you miss this, if you don't fully understand what's actually at risk, you can spend years repeating the same mistakes, even while doing the right thing. So let me explain. Imagine your career like a game of Jenga. And every block is just where your attention goes, what you're trying to focus on, what you're trying to fix. And at the start, everything's solid. You're just following instinct. You're not really asking for permission at all. And you're doing it because it feels good, because it feels like you. But then as time goes on, you start realizing that being an artist isn't just about making music. And then you start seeing things happening around you. Maybe your friends are posting wins. Maybe someone gets a placement. Maybe someone signs a deal. And at some point, you catch yourself thinking, why isn't this happening to me? So you start looking for answers. Maybe I need more marketing. Maybe I need a team. Maybe I need to look bigger than I am. Maybe I need to post more. Maybe the music and the genre that I'm releasing is wrong. And it's not really because you wanted to chase anything per se. It's more just because you didn't want to fall behind. And without really realizing it, you're pulling your focus away from the middle of the tower towards the foundations, the fundamentals. And for a while, you even start to think, this is kind of working. The tower's staying up. Kind of even looks like progress, especially from the outside. But every new decision starts to just feel heavier than it used to. And you start questioning things that you never really questioned before. And the music stops exciting you in the same way. Until one day, you start to deconstruct the career so much, and you put too much on the top. Or maybe you take the wrong piece from the bottom. It all comes down. So here's the important part. The tower didn't fall down because I lacked talent. It didn't fall down because I didn't work hard enough. It fell down because I pulled the wrong block out of the wrong place at the wrong time. My focus shifted and the foundation collapsed. So what happens next is some artists figure out a slightly better approach. They keep the foundations mostly intact and they start moving the blocks from the middle of the structure. Better collaborators, more resources, more people involved, more help. And working with the right people absolutely can change everything. But here's where it can still go wrong. If you start trusting external voices more than your own, if direction starts coming from the outside world instead of supporting what's within, then, without realizing it, the blocks start getting removed from the foundation once again. And when external pressure comes in, expectations, opinions, stress, the tower still topples. And so the only artists who truly last, they realize something completely different. They stop rearranging the blocks like everyone else, and they rewrite the rules entirely so that they can rebuild the structure from the ground up, starting with the foundations. Over time, people from the outside, they can start to see what the artist is building. They can feel that it's different. There's an obvious direction, an obvious next step. So the voices from the outside, they naturally choose either to align with you and invest in what you're doing or not. And as an artist, it's liberating because you're no longer seeking permission, you're no longer wasting money or lacking momentum, because it's built into the system and the new game that you're actually playing. Welcome to the Music First system. It's a clear, repeatable cycle, not a mindset exercise, not something you need to overthink. You just move through it whether you feel ready or not. And clarity comes after execution, not before. But this system only works if you're willing to listen to yourself and you're actually willing to commit. Because if you don't, you'll just keep restarting the cycle and never getting any clarity. But the great thing is, the cycle is super simple. Step 1, write. Back in 2017, I was engineering at one of Rihanna's writing camps in London. If you didn't know, Rihanna doesn't usually write her own songs. She's effectively an incredible A&R with undeniable taste and an insane voice. So instead, the best writers and producers in the world get together and write for her. So I'm sitting in the studio watching magic happen, absolute greatness, recording these demos thinking, what's the difference? What's the difference between what they do and what I do? And after months of working with Grammy winners like Andrew Watt, Ali Tamposi, Stargate, Poo Bear, James Fauntleroy, Skrillex, it sort of became obvious. They protect the creative state. They write freely with no pressure and no judgment, so they can access pure emotion. And once that emotion has been expressed through ideas, lyrics, and melodies, after the magic has been captured, only then do they switch to the science. And that brings us to step 2. Stop creating, start listening. As an artist, ask yourself, does this actually hold up? Or more importantly, does this actually excite me? Most artists skip this step, and that's where the confusion begins. You have to be truly honest with yourself. Don't compare yourself to others. That defeats the point. The answers only exist within you. And if the answer is no to both questions, that's okay. Go and write more music. I find the simplest way to approach this step is to work in phases. Write 5, 10, or 20 demos in one batch, then sit down in one dedicated session and organize them into 2 playlists. The Fuck Yes playlist and the Good But Not Now playlist. Something not being right now doesn't mean that it won't be right later on. After all, you evolve, you change over time, and that's completely natural. But just by staying open and letting the magic in as it comes, you give yourself permission to return to the ideas later. And by approaching things like this, it removes the pressure, it removes the fear, and makes decisions easier, because you're not necessarily killing anything, you're simply choosing what feels most aligned with you right now. And eventually, you'll be left with 1 to 3 ideas that feel undeniable without you having to overthink. And that's where we move on. Step 3, discover. This part of the process becomes automatic the more cycles that you complete. And this is where you clarify the emotional world that your music lives in. Not necessarily what genre am I, but more like what emotional language do I speak? Let me explain. I often talk to artists who think that they're stuck because they haven't found the right sound yet. But one artist in particular, when we listened properly, a pattern started to emerge. Every idea that he loved had movement in it, dance, rhythm, momentum, but emotionally the songs were introspective, bittersweet, almost fragile. He thought the 2 things cancelled each other out, not because they were wrong necessarily, but because he thought that they weren't allowed to coexist. But discovery was realizing that they actually belonged together. And once that clicked, production decisions became obvious. And not because we chose a genre, but because we finally understood that the emotional contradiction in the music was a necessity to be highlighted and not ignored. And so every time I work with an artist, I ask for 3 concise playlists: emotional roots, current inspirations, and specific references for the song. By actively going through this process, we begin to understand your actual personal connection to music. Emotions are often rooted in the songs that have soundtracked your life. All 3 playlists anchor your taste, and specific reference songs can often uncover ways to express what you're already feeling. But it's the intersection of your life experiences, your taste, your emotions, and how you choose to express them where alignment starts to form. At this stage, you should be able to clearly describe the emotional world your music comes from without referencing trends or genres. And some artists often stall here, not because they lack ideas, but because it's hard to see your own patterns clearly from the inside. And let me clarify, it isn't about over-analyzing yourself, it's about noticing what keeps repeating when you stop forcing outcomes. So if you want help clarifying this stage before moving into production, that's exactly what an artist clarity session is designed for. If you're interested in applying, just click the link in the description. Once step 3 is clarified, we can move into step 4. Now, and only now, you start to commit. And this is done through the production process. In simple terms, production is just translating emotion or feeling into sound. If in the past you've ever had a demo that has actually felt more emotionally truthful than a full production, the translation was probably the main culprit. This usually happens due to a miss of communication between an artist and producer, or an unaligned direction, or sometimes even just the skill of the person executing the production. But if step 3 is done properly and you're working with a skilled producer, communication becomes effortless, and so does the production process. Then when you finally hear yourself coming out of the speakers fully produced, that's where belief locks in, and you're able to move on. Step 5, release. Remember that Jenga tower? Our only competition is with ourselves. We're playing a completely different game to everybody else. So we don't release music in competition anymore. We release music to finish the process. Because until a song is released, it only belongs to you. And it's often colored by doubt, hopes, or expectations. But the moment it leaves your inner world and enters reality, you gain closure. A song that isn't released will always keep asking you questions. But a song that is released, that can answer them. So there's no need to force marketing, force promotion, force external validation in this step. And I'm not anti-marketing at all. I'm just anti-forcing meaning before any real clear meaning exists. Because when music is clear, promotion becomes communication, not persuasion. And if you listen to a song and think, I don't really feel like promoting this, that isn't failure in this frame. It's actually information. Avoidance feels heavy and anxious. Learning to tell the difference is part of becoming an artist who can trust themselves. By creating closure with each song, your relationship with your music changes, develops, and crystallizes over time. Because your music is no longer asking for approval, you can finally hear it clearly, not as a creator, but as a listener. And that perspective is what actually builds your career. Which brings us to the final step. This is the step some artists never reach, or worse still, they choose to rethink everything instead of simply repeating the cycle and slowly honing in on who they are. Because identity only emerges through repetition. People often ask me, how long does this process take? But time isn't the correct measure here, momentum is. You can compare yourself to others, you can look at case studies and see how long it took them, and search for validation that you're doing the right thing, but the transformation is really the real measure, and only you can tell us that. The life of an artist is a process, and each cycle sharpens your instinct. Each cycle reduces your hesitation to carve your own path. Each cycle helps you define who you are becoming, and each release becomes a stepping stone to that transformation. This is where you stop chasing success, and you start building the life that you want through action, not permission. And your career doesn't grow through volume, they grow through coherence. So it isn't about speed at all. It's about momentum and clarity. You don't need all the answers now. You don't need to solve your identity. You just need to move to the next step, and clarity will start to show up when you finish, not before you've begun. So remember, if you want access to this complete system, just click the link in the description and download it for free. And if you're listening to this and thinking, I get it, I just don't want to do this alone anymore, then all you have to do is click the link to apply for an artist clarity session. Either option is great. And if you want to actually see how this process happens in real life, then just watch this video next, where I break down the full transformation of an artist that I'm currently working with.